What is up? What is up? What is up, Panthers Nation? It is your boy, Aaron Duncan here, you know what I'm saying, with Bleacher Report doing a post-game live stream. And the Carolina Panthers just finished their first preseason game versus the Cleveland Browns. The Shedeur Sanders showcase is what we should call it, because literally ever since Shedeur was announced as the starter, it's been all about Shedeur Sanders. And to be honest, he kind of delivered. You know, he started this game. The Panthers played their starters. He struggled a little bit early. Once the backup stuff started coming in, Shedeur Sanders started putting some things together. He had some miraculous plays. I'm not sure how the touchdown pass he threw wasn't a pick, but I think he looked a lot better than a fifth-round pick today. I'll say that. And I haven't seen the other quarterbacks that they have, but I got to say he probably looked better than Dylan Gabriel will look. Who knows? He went 14 for 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. He took 2 sacks, a passer rating of 106.8. He also added 19 yards on the ground rushing. The guy looked under control with the backups in. He looked calm and collected. He looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. And I know it's about him, so I'm just giving him the just due here at the beginning. But Shedeur Sanders really put on display, and I don't think it was some kind of conspiracy. I just think that this was the hand that he was dealt. Should he have been a fifth-round pick? That may be some kind of collusion or conspiracy to send a message. I don't know what went on in pre-draft meetings, but he seemed like he was himself. He had a boom box with the entourage on the intro to the game. He was flexing, throwing up the rollie. Every time he ran for a first down or had something happen, he was himself out there. Love or hate him. He had an interview on there. He didn't really like go out and just go crazy in the interview, but he pretty much said how he felt. He just kind of said, he didn't deny that it was a messed up situation, that he just kind of went out there and played. I mean, the world was watching. He got a lot of props tonight. You had the baby who's a Panthers fan, supposedly end up switching sides mid-game, putting on the jersey. Prime time tweeting during the game, and then LeBron James tweeting during the game. You would have thought that it was just Shedeur playing by himself, but it is what it is, man. He did what he had to do. It'll be interesting to follow what happens there, how they adjust the depth chart, because I definitely think that he deserved to be higher than 4th on the depth chart, but we'll see what happens. But this is about the Carolina Panthers, man. Tonight was week 1 of the preseason. Bryce Young came out there. The first drive kind of sputtered, went 3 and out. I'm not going to lie. There was a sack. We were playing the third string left guard because, of course, Damian Lewis didn't play tonight, and then Chandler Zavala suffered a patellar injury, so he didn't play tonight. So we ended up having our third string guard. He ended up kind of giving up a sack. It's not like it was a bad, fast loss. There just wasn't anybody open. Bryce tried to step up and buy some time, but the left guard ended up losing that rep, and Bryce ended up getting sacked. Again, Brady Christensen is your swing tackle as a backup. He can't play all 5 positions, but Brady Christensen being your backup left tackle, he wasn't going to be inserted into guard that early in the game as a starter. But I think if it was a game this week and that was a scenario, I fully would expect Brady Christensen to play left guard. Nevertheless, guys, the second drive, man, it delivered everything and more. I don't want to overreact so soon off of one preseason game, but Bryce Young to Shedeur McMillan delivered everything we could have possibly asked for early and often. Bryce Young throws the perfect outside shoulder toss to Shedeur McMillan, exactly what we've seen from the highlights, and in practice, it looked just like that one-on-one he beat Mike Jack with. And then, of course, when you play against the Panthers, they don't respect our receivers all the time. They left one safety in the middle of the field, and so Bryce Young, with the alert, decided to take that shot with Shedeur McMillan. Being able to complete that consistently is going to force defenses to account for him on the outside, give help over the top for corners, and that's going to lighten the box to allow guys like Chuba Hubbard, who looked a little bit decent early on, to create more space for him, because you take a defender or a defensive back out of the box. That's what we needed to see. They started playing off of him. We saw a nice slant route by Shedeur McMillan to get a chunk play there. And then again, in the red zone, the opportunity was there. He won. It looked exactly like the touchdown he caught this week, where he caught a contested catch on a slant route across the middle. It almost looked like the exact same play, but Bryce Young threw it with so much anticipation. Tetairoa McMillan just wasn't ready. And by the time he got his head around, the ball just hummed right through his hands, and it was a drop. We did end up scoring next play, but I'm going to give Tetairoa McMillan some grace. This guy has been playing with his high school teammate, Fafella. Is that his name? I'm sorry. Respectfully, he's not the best quarterback in the world. He holds on to the ball a lot. Now you're playing with an accurate quarterback that's smart, that plays with anticipation. You guys need to get on the same page, because Bryce Young, if you see when he released that ball, Tetairoa McMillan was still putting that left foot in the ground. Bryce threw it with so much anticipation, it almost caught Tetairoa, but it really kind of went through his hands in the last second. Tetairoa put his thumb up in the air. He's like, yeah, I got to get used to this. And so to me, Bryce Young is clearly going to favor and look for Tetairoa McMillan this year. The cap on Tetairoa's ceiling is going to be how fast him and Bryce Young can get on the same page, because Bryce Young is going to give him opportunities, as we clearly saw today. And of course, Bryce Young, 5 targets for Tetairoa McMillan tonight on the night. A lot of love from both quarterbacks, because he stayed in the game and played with Andy Dalton. Again, it's going to be up to Tetairoa to figure out how fast he gets up to be on the same page with Bryce Young, because he will be getting those looks on the regular. I'm excited about this connection. This would have been the perfect night had he caught that touchdown pass, but nevertheless, still a lot to be excited about if you are a Panthers fan. Nicole Ivory, what up, though? What up? We're talking about this preseason game. I appreciate you checking in. What up, though? You know what I'm saying? But again, something else, man. And this game was wacky, because out of nowhere, you see Xavier Legette getting into a fist fight with Rayshawn Jenkins, a safety. Like, I don't even know what was going on there. All you really saw was meat by Xavier Legette throwing punches. And then, of course, you throw punches in the NFL, you're going to get thrown out, because the guy took Xavier Legette's helmet off during the scrap, and they both got thrown out. And unfortunately, you don't want to lose your spot because of injuries and opportunities, but as competitive as his wide receiver room, something like that might have cost Xavier Legette, I don't know how much, but a little bit of leeway on the depth chart, because none other than Jaylen Coker came into the game and took full opportunity of Xavier Legette being out. Playing that Z position, Jaylen Coker caught a touchdown pass in the scramble drill. It was brilliant. Bryce Young scrambled out of the pocket, motioned Jaylen Coker over, and threw it to him. And it was just perfect, because Bryce, as soon as he told him to move, as soon as he saw Jaylen move, he got rid of the ball, put it right on the spot. Jaylen Coker caught it, picture framed it. It almost hit him in the face, and it was just dancing in the end zone, man. And this connection, it could be something nice, because Jaylen Coker really put it on display tonight, man. And then some people were saying Jaylen Coker was on the bubble. I'm here to tell you right now, the question doesn't mean it shouldn't be if Jaylen Coker should or shouldn't make the team. Because again, this may sound crazy, but Jaylen Coker may be that wide receiver too. Jaylen Coker may be that wide receiver too. Some people were questioning the fact that Jaylen Coker doesn't play any type of special teams, the fact that they thought he could be on the roster bubble with such a competitive wide receiver room. The real question you need to be asking is, how do we get Jaylen Coker more targets? Because this brother needs the ball coming his direction. I don't know what we got to do, but this brother needs to get the ball thrown in his direction. He caught a one-handed pass on a slot fade that was crazy. It stood me up out of my chair. It got called back because of offsetting penalties, but it really got me up out of my chair. Jaylen Coker, one hand. It was beautiful. Just continuing to come up and make plays. Jaylen Coker is dependable. He's consistent. He's reliable. He only had 2 catches for 17 yards and a touchdown, but again, one of those long passes got called back. But Jaylen Coker continues to show and makes his name known, like, hey, don't forget about me. 2 touchdowns in the joint practice against the Browns, 1 touchdown tonight. He's starting to surge, bro. Jaylen Coker is really starting to surge and show what time it is. So, look, Coke boys, Coke heads, we up. All my fellow Coke heads, we up, bro. We up. If you a Coke stan, we up, man. This was the night to really put it on display. And he did. And again, You take advantage of the opportunities. The same way that Jaylen Coker got on the field. Because you remember, and obviously it's early, and Xavier Legette, he'll bounce back and he'll be better from this. But again, taking advantage of your opportunities. Remember, the only reason that Jaylen Coker really got on the field is because once Adam Thielen got hurt, they gave Jonathan Mingo a chance. Mingo didn't do anything. Jaylen Coker came in against the Bears and had a nice catch. He flashed a few times. And from then on out, Mingo got traded. Jaylen Coker's stock continued to climb. He ended up having a very productive year for undrafted free agent rookie. What happened tonight? Xavier Legette, unfortunate events, gets thrown out of the game for a fight. Jaylen Coker comes in immediately and takes advantage of the opportunity. Not saying the exact same thing is going to happen, but again, it's going to be hard to deny what Jaylen Coker really is to this wide receiver room for much longer. The guy just continues to show up, make plays for this team. I'm loving what I'm seeing for Jaylen Coker. Shout out to JB the Great checking in, man. Appreciate you checking in. It said Andy Dalton is cheeks. Brother, Andy Dalton. And we're going to get to the defense. Andy Dalton, man. We got to start a dialogue. What is Andy Dalton? We thought the advantage of having Andy Dalton was being able to get a look from our backups. We have a very, very deep wide receiver core. It's going to be very, very competitive on who makes his roster. We thought that Andy Dalton would give them a chance to see what they could do. And he was booty butt cheeks. Booty butt cheeks tonight was Andy Dalton. I don't know what got into him. He had on them Jordan cleats. He tried to pump fake and he just fell. He looked old. He looked washed up. It was kind of embarrassing, bro. It was embarrassing. And I was at home. I got secondhand embarrassment. I started blushing a little bit. You couldn't even see it. But we thought we could get some evaluation, but unfortunately we can't. And once again, another preseason loss for the Panthers, 30-10. And I know it's just preseason. I know. So you guys don't have to yell at me and cuss at me for that. I know it's just preseason. But why does it always feel like everybody else's backups are better than our backups? Every time, every game, it doesn't matter the opponent, because the Cleveland Browns, when the regular season comes around, I do not think they will be a better team than the Carolina Panthers. I do not. But it's clear that their backups play better. And I understand that, we don't have a lot of depth because we haven't drafted well over the few years. It feels like we have good depth. And it's not just this year. It's the year before that. It's the year before then. It's the year before then. It's been going on for a few years now. I really felt like we turned the depth around this year. Receiver, we have depth. Running back, we have depth. O-line, we have some decent depth. D-line, it felt like we had some decent depth. And edge, it felt like we had some decent depth. But it just feels like we could it's hard to evaluate anybody because we just can't. Nobody's making plays. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if we just need to take it a lot more because people want you to downplay it so bad. But I'm watching the Ravens last night. The Ravens have approximately 38 pass rushers on their roster that even when the backups didn't play, they still had guys getting after it well into the fourth quarter. They're just They just have guys. They have running backs. Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell was an undrafted free agent out of East Carolina, right in the Panthers' backyard. He tore his ACL a few years ago, but dude, they just have depth. It's crazy. And they can evaluate their guys, but we can't. They win consistently in preseason, but we don't. I don't know. And I really can't put my finger on it 100%. Maybe you guys can. But I'm tired of it, man. It just is what it is. I'm tired of it. But Brad Izzik, the offensive coordinator, he actually called plays tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now, Brad Izzik is definitely not as stubborn with the run as Dave Canales claims to be. I don't even it just didn't feel like we even tried to run the ball. And I understand we were down. But we only ran the ball, 14 times? 14 rushes. 14 rushes, 35 passes. Pretty lopsided. Meanwhile, the Browns, 31 passes, 32 rushes. And I understand we have a wide receiver room to evaluate, but good Lord, we got a lot of running backs to evaluate too. C-Dub says the Panthers so unserious, it made it hard to even evaluate the backups. SMH, bro. SMH. But I thought the O-line was solid overall as a starter. Like I said, again, the left guard, that'll sort itself out on its own. But I thought the O-line was pretty solid overall. I want to get that run game humming. I do. But again, that's the biggest takeaways on offense. On defense, we did look a little shaky to start. They handled their business. Couple 3-and-outs. Again, Shedeur really didn't start cooking until the backups came in. To be honest, if we're being real, objectively. And so I don't really feel bad about our defense, especially with our stars not playing, a.k.a. J.C. Horn and Derek Brown. They did okay. I guess they did what they were supposed to do. Nothing spectacular. Nothing dominant. So it's like, okay, we'll punt it till next week. We live to fight another day. I'm not panicking about the defense, starting defense. So we'll move on to the next week. I don't feel absolutely great and head over heels, but nothing to panic and worry about for me overall on the first group, to be honest. So that's that. But they did tighten up eventually. I like they started bringing some blitzes. They brought that nickel blitz with Shaw Smith-Wade, which got DJ Wanham free, and Shador Sanders dropped. He was dropping and drifting back about 30 yards before getting rid of it on 4th down. I thought that was grounding, but who am I? I'm just a guy. I'm a jag here at home. I'm not a ref. But I thought that was grounding. But it's neither here nor there. They cooked up some blitzes tonight, and it paid off a few times against Shedeur. It did. But I just think, man, at corner in place of J.C. Horn, Corey Thornton really did his thing, man. Corey Thornton really did. Bro, and this is what I wanted to see. There's been a lot of buzz for an undrafted free agent. I try not to invest in a lot of these guys until I see the tape. And I'll watch the tape a little bit later, and I'll break it down on my channel. Shout out to Unnecessary Bluntness. We'll break it down on the channel. But Corey Thornton was stood up. He guarded Deontay Johnson. He was targeted a few times. One time I thought it could be PI, but it was uncatchable. Other time he did pretty good in the press, and Deontay dropped it. He was targeted a few other times. They tested him. Boy, he stood tall. He even dunked. They tried a trick play. He even picked it up and dunked the tight end on his back. Playing physical. Maybe going against Tedero McMillan was good and helped them. Iron sharper than iron. That's what they want to say. Maybe going against Tedero in practice really brought that dog out of him. Because he showed me something tonight. I want to see more. I'm ready to see more. Corey Thornton has earned the right for me to want to see more. I'm getting a little excited about him. He's earned that right for me, at least. I want to see more. I want to see him against some different receiver types. Getting to go against Deontay was still a good test, in my opinion. Deontay is a pretty quality receiver in terms of the type of route running he does. We know the type of separation he gets. So that was a pretty good test by Corey Thornton. He passed the test. So I want to see more. Do it again. The Texans have a very deep receiving core next week. Do it again. I'm ready to see it again. He's earned that right. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. So let's get to it, Corey. Because we definitely, that cornerback 3 position is something that we really have to figure out on this team. Did I think it was going to be an undrafted free agent from, Louisville? No. Do I like having to rely on undrafted free agents every year to be our depth pieces? No. But if it happens, it happens. We move. So Corey Thornton, hats off to you, brother. Hats off to you on tonight's performance. 4 tackles, 1 pass deflection. Even had TFL. The dude played ball. The dude played ball. I thought Trevin Wallace flashed at times. He had a nice little hit coming through there. I definitely will watch the tape to see how our linebackers perform, because some people said they had mixed emotions about Christian Rosebloom. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see when that tape drop, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. But up front, man, I thought they did pretty good. I thought Pat Jones looked pretty strong, holding the point of attack. Wanham flashed a few times again, getting pressure. And then the rookies, which who I really wanted to see, Nick Gordon, Princely Umamiele. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a Princely stan. I am. But I would be lying to you if I did not say that Nick Gordon's performance tonight was a little bit more impressive. Nick Gordon's motor, and I don't know if it's just fresh legs from having a week or so off from camp versus Princely, who we've had a ton of padded practices in a row. But Nick Gordon had a little bit of zip. He had some get off tonight. The get off looked good. He looked twitchy. The change of direction. I've seen inside counter moves. I saw the motor. I saw the hustle. He missed a sack on Shedeur on that long scramble, and it ended up being the one he earned it. He missed a sack for a bigger loss, but ended up getting the sack just because he was the last one to touch Shedeur to get out of bounds. He missed that play, but he ended up doing it and getting it on the stat sheet. 2 tackles, both of them for loss, and a sack. Nick Gordon, he did his thing, bro. Is he going to be ready to start from day one? Doubt it. But he definitely needs to be in that rotation. 100%. Definitely needs to be in that rotation. He showed the motor. He showed the strength, the change of direction, and the twitch that I think is required to be able to be a rotational piece against ones. And it will just grow from there. I'm excited about scoring now, man. And like I said, not that I wasn't, but again, we haven't seen training camp. He hasn't been flashing that much because he's been hurt. We've been hearing about Princely. So it feels good to know that our second round pick is about that life too. And as far as Princely got a few wins as well. I think Princely's going to have to speed up that urgency. These quarterbacks get that ball out quick. They get the ball out quick. And I saw Princely getting wins with inside counters, with spin moves. He's got to get there quicker. Princely has a little bit of a false step in his game. When I say false step, he puts that one leg in front of the other. Instead of just rolling off that front leg like you would out of a 40-yard dash or whatever, that front leg comes up first, and then he starts running. You can't have any false steps. These quarterbacks, our mentality in Carolina is 2.7 or less. That's usually what time to throw is from a lot of guys in the league. A pass rush win or loss happens within 2.5 seconds. So you have to speed up that urgency. And I think it's a good coaching point for him out of the first game, and I think it's a good learning point. He did have some wins too. I know there was a pass out of the end zone. He got a pressure. I personally thought he got held. He did an inside move, and I thought he got held. The inside move was really, really working for Princely, whether it was just a counter or a spin or a stunt. I think he needs to try to go to that inside move a lot more. His change of direction off that outside foot is pretty explosive. It's pretty explosive. So that's going to be coaching points and growth for these guys. Their first time getting registered and graded by the team on tape. Let's build from there. I thought both him and Nick Gordon had their moments where they lost contain on the edge in the running game. Again, it comes with experience. Just because the ball isn't to you right away doesn't mean it's not coming back. A couple of times, it was backside cutbacks, and they just fell asleep at the wheel. This is the NFL, bro. They're going to cut back. These running backs have supreme vision. They have supreme vision. They will cut back in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. So you got to be aware. You got to be aware, and you got to be ready. You got to be aware. You got to be ready. Shout out to Damani Richardson. Damani Richardson came on a safety blitz and got a sack. Damani Richardson had the dreads loose. He usually had the dreads braided. He had them loose. I didn't even recognize him, bro. He had them things swinging tonight. Came on a blitz. Got Shador on the ground the first sack of the night on Shador. Damani Richardson flashed. He didn't start, but he flashed. That's all you want to see is flashes, bro. Consistently flash. Let me know you out there. Let your presence be felt. Get yourself on the stat sheet. Show up on film. Hustle to the football. Know your assignment. Don't be out of position. But I thought, man, our linebackers, like I said, Wallace was solid. Roseboom didn't really see much, but the backups, oh gosh. Bam Martin Scott, oh, he was out of position a few times. It was tough. It was tough. But let's start with some stock up and stock down for certain players. So stock up. Number one, Jaylen Coker. Jaylen Coker's stock is rising right now. A great week of practice, a phenomenal effort in the game today. Getting in the box today, scoring the touchdown with Xavier Get being out because of that fight. Jaylen Coker took full advantage of the opportunities. Again, Jaylen Coker got on the field the first time by taking advantage of the opportunity that Mingo did not take advantage of in that Bears game, and from there it was downhill from there. Jaylen Coker, once again, being available, being dependable, being reliable. Jaylen Coker stock is on the rise. Next up, Tetairoa McMillan stock is on the rise. If we didn't learn anything else today, we know that Bryce Young is going to throw that football to Tetairoa McMillan. Tetairoa McMillan won deep. He won the short game versus off coverage, and we saw the flashes in the red zone with the wind getting separation. He just has to get used to Bryce Young and get on the same page because Bryce Young is an anticipatory thrower. That ball is going to be there, and it's going to be humming right there on the money, so you got to be ready. Time on task and working together, and this is why we like preseason. This is why you want your starters to get reps, because you learn that stuff happens faster in the NFL T-Mac, excuse me. So you got to get yourself together. Stuff happens faster in the NFL T-Mac. So get their head around, get them hands up. But I think Tetairoa McMillan's stock is on the rise. To me, special teams wise, we look bad. We look bad in all the phases except kickoff. Kickoff, Matthew Wright was doing that little ground little thing, kicking into the box. I thought Matthew Wright was very pinpoint on there. He made the kicks that he had opportunity for. But in terms of the punt return game, we look bad. We had a muff punt by Trevor Etienne, and most people are saying, well, Nick Scott bumped into him. You can tell. If you're running on a punt return with your arms fully extended, if you're trying to catch a punt with your arms fully extended, you can't find the ball, and you probably weren't going to catch it. You have to catch with your elbows tucked. If you're not catching a punt with your elbows tucked, you're not going to catch it. And to be able to get it with your elbows tucked, you have to be under the ball. Because look at my reach with my elbows tucked. Look at my reach with my arms fully out. My hands ain't on the screen, but look at my reach with my arms tucked. So that means when the ball is dropping, you have to get under it. And if you run around with your hands out straight like this, it feel like them cartoons. They be trying to catch something, or anything, and it ends up being an anvil. That's how it happens. So I knew Trevor Etienne was lost even before then. So to me, because of the struggles on special teams, because although Jimmy Horn got opportunities, he didn't really do a ton. TJ Luther was back there. He didn't do a ton. To me, in terms of punt return, the struggles there, that tells me that the stock is going to be up for Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow can catch punts. He's dependable. Even if you're only going to get 5 or 10 yards on a return, he's dependable. And that gives the special teams value that you need from a potential wide receiver 3 or 4 or whatever position he's going to be. So I think Hunter Renfrow's stock improved, and he didn't even play just because of the struggles on special teams and us needing a punt returner that's consistent and reliable. Right? So that's just me. But again, I got to get to these pressers after this is over and see. There's a lot of nuggets coming out. Again, stock up. The next person with stock up is going to be Corey Thornton. Corey Thornton showed me a lot, bro. I didn't know what to expect. They told me he was hooping in practice. He was holding his own. He definitely showed improved tonight. The film showed up tonight. He showed it on film. I'm ready to break it down and see what all he did, but he was tested often, and he answered often. He had the answers to the test tonight. Can you do it again? Can you stack days? Can you stack games? Can you stack practices? That's what the consistency needs to be for an undrafted free agent, and what I need to see. But for now, he answered all the questions I might have had. I believe it. I believe he was actually holding his own in practice. Now show me more. Can you give us more? So I think his stock is trending in the right direction. But Corey Thornton, he hooped now. JP Son said, we know his name now. Yeah, exactly. We know your name. We know your name now. You on the radar. So now we're going to be really paying attention. So what do you do next? What do you do next? We know your name now. So what do you do next? But I can't deny that his stock is on the rise. And next up, Nick Gordon. Nick Gordon's stock is on the rise after being out for a week because of the hamstring injury. It felt like he might have been forgotten, especially with Princely making plays. Like I said, consistency in practice consistently, excuse me. But Nick Gordon, healed hamstring, had decent practices this week within the joint practice, got game action, showed no signs of lingering effects from the hamstring. He got after it. The motor was high, 2 tackles, both of them for a loss, and he also added a sack on there for good measure. He looked twitchy, the explosive, the change of direction was there. He looked like he belonged. I'm excited about the future of Nick Gordon now. 2nd round pick, we took him just outside the top 50. I'm excited. I want to see more. That's what I want to see. I'm excited now. I want to see more. So let's go ahead and get more going for Nick Gordon. But that stock is definitely going up. The stock going down. Shamar Bartholomew, number 27, the cornerback. He took some lumps today, man. He took some lumps. And again, I'll have to watch the tape to see exactly what was going on. But he took some lumps. Had decent offseason and spring and OTAs. Had been fairly quiet during training camp as Corey Thornton has gotten more hype. But Shamar Bartholomew was here last year for the Panthers. Wasn't really my favorite cornerback, but I heard he was taking strides. Tonight, seemed like he took some backpedal strides. Didn't really look comfortable all the time. Wasn't very aggressive as you would like him to be. He tried to mix it up sometimes, but it felt like something was missing tonight. So it's time to bounce back. Next person was stock down, in my opinion, is Trevor Etienne. Trevor Etienne did get a chance to get an open field with a nice little screen pass, but he had 2 carries, 3 yards, wasn't a ton of room for him there. He had the muff punt and punt return. Again, I just don't think he looks comfortable out there returning punts. He may be a better kick returner, but according to what I've heard from some reporters, he dropped a kick in practice the other day on kickoff. So where does he fit in as a returner? If he doesn't look comfortable returning punts and the kickoffs, which are a lot easier to field, he's dropping them in practice. And then you still see Blackshear getting first-team reps in FanFest and tonight at kick return. So where does that leave Etienne? Because we have a two-headed monster at running back. Does he get involved there? What do we do? So I think his stock is trending down a little bit. He has to pick himself off the mat and see where he goes from there. Again, 2 carries, 3 yards. Got a few opportunities in the return game, but didn't really show a ton. Got to pick it up. Wrong return, 20 yards. In the kick return. 2 returns, 7 yards in punt return. So we need to see it. We need to see it. So that's just what I'm thinking in terms of stock going down. Is that it? Who else stock went down? I thought Ben Martin Scott struggled as well, but I don't want to say he's just an undrafted guy right now. So I don't want to say his stock is going down because where is your stock anyway as an undrafted free agent? That's just me, respectfully. But it is what it is. But again, guys, I'll be doing a full breakdown on my channel, definitely getting into the film. Check me out at youtube.com/UB Sports Talk. You can see it at the bottom here. I'll be breaking down the film whenever that film gets dropped, and then we'll go through it. I'll point out some more, but this has been my instant reaction. I will be doing this after every game. After every game where I'm not in attendance. I'm going to some games, but if I'm not in attendance, I will be instantly reacting to the game 5 to 10 minutes after the game is over. So make sure you tune in to Bleacher Report. Follow the Panthers on Bleacher Report as well. That way you get notified when this stuff happens. Because again, I'm dropping short form videos 3 or 4 days out of the week, and I'm doing a live post game every week. I'll be back here at the preseason next week as well, breaking that down. So make sure you guys are here to hold it down. Let's get involved in the chat. Let's get things rolling. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Again, subscribe to UB Sports Talk. This has been Necessary Bluntness Bleacher Report collaboration. I am your humble host, Aaron Duncan. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.